everybody, and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. This is episode 53 for February 20th, 2013. I'm going to name this episode I Shall Overcome. I don't need to go into why. I am just rising above everything, and that which does not kill me makes me stronger. So I'm going to go with that. All right, so I want to say thank you for everyone for coming back and joining me again, and welcome to those of you who may be new viewers. If you are a new viewer or an old one and have yet to join our Ravelry group, you can find a link to it and other various social networking sites on our on my show notes, which links you to Twitter, Plurk, Google+, Instagram. I added that one too today. I thought, hey, I like to use Instagram. And it does have a link to our group on Ravelry. You can find the show notes and other whatnot type things and watch the show at myordinaryjourney.com. That is my blog. It's right there. So getting into it this week, we had nobody join the Ravelry group, so I can't say welcome to new folks by name, but I can say hi to everybody that is already a member. So there is, I didn't look. Last time I looked and for sure made a mental note of how many people were in the group, it was 156. So 156 of you wonderful folks have seen fit to join my chaos, and I appreciate that. So welcome and thank you. We did have 2 birthdays this week, so I want to say happy birthday to Carol 5800, no name, so super anonymous, very fun, and Walking J 81, and that is Jen. So I'm assuming both ladies. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. But happy birthday, guys. So everybody likes a great birthday. All right, so some shout outs and announcements. Tomorrow night, Thursday, is the Fredericksburg Podcaster Sit and Knit. We will meet at the Barnes & Noble in Central Park in Fredericksburg, Virginia from 6:30 until 8. So good times there. And some AF3 Charity Sock Club updates. I don't know if you can see behind me, but do you see that? That is your yarn and your project bags, courtesy of Fiber Nymph Dye Works and Anders Mills, the bags. So Friday is my flex day. So in addition to making some bags and getting those out in the mail, I will be stuffing envelopes for your sock club shipment, which will go out Saturday. So awesome, right? I am so excited. I have to tell you, I squeed yesterday when I got the yarn. Yes, what you have envisioned in your head, I'm sure, is exactly what you're gonna get. Because actually, it came out better. I was really thrilled. I had a mental picture of what I wanted and what I thought I was gonna, see, and it's just even better than that. I mean, the color is vibrant. It's very alive. I don't know how to describe it. It's clear. There's clarity to it, and you'll see when I show you if you're not a member of the club. And if you are a member of the club, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. It's like not muted, it's not dusty, it's not gray. It's very succinct, it's cut and dry, very great color. So I was very happy. So that is the update. So Saturday, everything will go out. So that'll be your second shipment. Let's see. I don't really have any Android apps or hacks this week. I will always keep an eye out. If you are an Android user and you have an app or a hack that you'd like to share with the group, with me, you know what? I think I'm going to start a thread, and let me write this down. I think I want to start a thread so that you guys can share those on the Ravelry group. Because, hey, Android needs a little love. He's a cute little guy. So I'm going to do that. I think that would be good. So look for that on the forums, on the board, Ravelry board. All right, so that wraps up kind of the beginning of the show. And we're going to move on to the knitting game. So tonight is the grand finale. I'm sorry I don't have my tucks and I'm not up to the nines, but hey, it is what it is, right? For those of you who are new, let me explain what the knitting game is. I have a bookshelf of knitting books. And originally, the knitting game was supposed to be a vehicle for me to pick patterns out of my books and knit them. I have lots of books and lots of patterns, and I needed a way to pick them, right? So I figured I wanted to start a podcast, but I wanted to do something different. So I made it a little bit more interactive. So I pick a book, I pick some patterns, and I let the viewers vote on the patterns that they would like seen, would like to see me knit and talk about on the show. So this time around was a little different. Rather than using the Top Chef Last Chance Kitchen model, where the winning chef moves on to the next week and battles it out head to head, I took a different approach, and I did an American Idol style voting round competition thing. So I started off with 8 patterns, and these were patterns that are gifted patterns to me, so wraps and birthdays and whatnots. So they were gifted patterns, and I wanted to prioritize those patterns. So I put them all up for a vote, and everyone could vote as often as they wanted, as many times as they wanted, and every week I would look at the 2 lower voting patterns, and I would choose which one to send home. So they just wouldn't make it back on the list for the next week. So this is the end of that process. This is week 8. It has been 8 weeks since we started this. Can you believe it? 2 months before Christmas, I think. So we've definitely come a long way, and that's good. So this week, the final finale week, the contestants were the Vittorio, and the Water Street Cardigan. All right. So this week I went straight up with who had the most votes. I did not have anything to do with it. It was not subjective at all, because some of the other weeks have been. So I would choose one over another if I thought maybe it should move on. But this week was totally by the numbers. It was totally you guys. So the winner of the pattern prioritization knitting game with 55% of the vote this week was the Vittorio. Okay, so I'm very excited about the Vittorio winning. I enjoy the way the construction looks, and I'm very anxious to get started. So much so that I have a special bonus round of the knitting game. Usually I don't do this. When I announce a winner, there's no voting for the next week, but I just can't help myself. So the bonus round for this is going to be pick the yarn for the Vittorio. And the 2 that I have picked, this is Gail's Art Grapevine colorway, and it is on her Shiny Happy base. It is 50% superwash merino and 50% silk. You may be able to see that shine, that gorgeous sheen. And hopefully the colors are coming out. They are blue and purple, green, little lime green, yellow green, orange green. So this is grapevine. And the other yarn that I have picked out that I am just itching and dying to use, this is, and I'm going to butcher the name, it's Themyscira by Diabolical on her Alter Ego base. And I think this one would be gorgeous. I love the very vivid and bright colors. And this one you probably saw, it's 100% superwash merino. So those are the two yarns that I have picked out. So you guys get to vote on which one you want to see me knit the Vittoria. Now, I'm not making any promises. It's not like I'm going to start as soon as you guys vote, but I thought I would pass that along. Alrighty, so last week I said I'd give you some numbers, right? And do some graphs, because I really like graphs. So, the total number of votes for the entire knitting game this 8 weeks was 1,213. Y'all voted 1,213 times. Awesome. Okay, the highest voting week was week 4. I guess I should have looked to see which patterns were in week 4. That was the one where I was not able to record that week, so it was a 2-week. So the numbers might be a little skewed for that one, but that was 334 votes. The lowest voting week was week 1, and that was with 38. So you can see how that ran the whole spectrum. We usually came in right around 150 for votes for the week. All right, so the votes by pattern. All right, so the winner was the Vittorio, and overall the Vittorio got 240 votes total, and it averaged 30 votes a week. Okay, but the Water Street Cardigan, it got the most votes overall with 332 and an average of 41.5. But that was over the length of its appearance in the knitting game. The pattern that got the most average votes, interestingly enough, was the Striped Study Shawl with 51.6 votes per week. So it's really interesting to see how the numbers, you know, the one that you thought would have the most overall votes didn't. You know, they may have got more votes one week and not a lot of votes the next, but they were still above, you know, the 2 lower voting patterns. So it's really interesting to see how it kind of shifted from week to week and how, you know, many votes. Even the color affection, which that one didn't do as well. It made it further along into the competition, but it only had 9 overall votes and 3 votes per week. So it made it to week 2, or week 3. So yeah, so I love numbers. So I have some graphs that I'll put up on the blog. So you can see them there, and the numbers and the charts and everything. So you can compare and take a look at all of that. It's really interesting. I love looking at the numbers and trying to figure out what the numbers really mean. I mean, you really can have them mean anything you want. It's the context that you take them in. So it's all about context. So moving along, some updates. The Sensual Knits knitting game, I haven't done anything with it this week. I have, however, picked up the Easy 100th Anniversary Camping Half Circle Shawl again, and I have just been going to town on this baby, and I love it. I've been knitting a storm, and if you see, I've gotten through 2 repeats now, 2.5 actually, of the willow leaf pattern. And that orange stitch marker right there is how far I've knit since the last time I showed this on the show. So it's not how much I've knit in the last week, but it is. It's because I didn't show it last show or maybe even the one before. But since the last time I worked on it, I went from that little orange stitch marker. And I think this leaf pattern, a lot of the times I can visually see the pattern take shape on the charts, but I can't on this one. And I don't know why, but it works out. I mean, it's amazing. It just works out. So I think it's just awesome. So that is coming along well. So I have 1.5 repeats of the willow section left to go. And then I get to start the edging. And that one doesn't look like there's much to it. I'm knitting these on my Knit Picks interchangeable size. I'm gonna say 6s because I don't know and I don't have the pattern in front of me to check. So that is that knitting game. Alright, so the exotic draped ruffle. I put these patterns up for a vote in this 1+1 scarves, shawls, and shrugs without actually paying attention to the cost involved with knitting one of these patterns. And there's the exotic draped ruffle right down here, right there. A lot of places like Jimmy Bean's Wool and my local yarn store, they actually sell the kits to do the scarf with, and they're like $98. The one hank of yarn alone with the beads and sequins is $48 a hank. You only need one, but it's ridiculously expensive to get the 100% silk and then the one with the beads. So I've been on the lookout for some substitutions, and it's not going to be 100%, but I think it'll be interesting all the same. So for the beaded and mohair type yarn, I decided, well, duh, I have some hand spun that I have the glass beads already set onto. I'm just going to use this. This was from Spunky Eclectic. It's the Little Fishes colorway. It is a single that I applied with some gold thread that was pre-strung with these blue glass beads. So I'm going to use this. Because it's a single, some of the parts are a little fluffy, so that gives the mohair-y kind of fluffy. It's soft and fluffy. So for the silk, though, I've been eyeballing this yarn. This has sequins in it. This is Rossetti Soft Paillette. And this is, it's a size 3. I think it's closer to a sport weight. Ravelry has it listed as a DK weight, but it's black with the sequins, and I think the two together is going to make a wonderful scarf. So I get to use my hand spun, and this cost me $12.60 versus $48. So very cost effective. I think this probably cost me $15 because it was a club shipment. It was like my first club shipment. So I've had this spun up for a year now, just waiting to use it. So it's one of the very first yarns that I got to show on the show. So that is going to be the exotic draped ruffle. So I've got the yarn set aside for that. Alright, so that is the knitting game. Moving on to the other stuff. We're going to start with knitting, and you already saw this was one of my stash enhancements this week. I picked it up Saturday at my local yarn shop. So there's one. It's the particulars. 70% acrylic, 22% polyester, and 8% soft payette. I don't know what that is. I'm going to assume it's another synthetic because it was only $12.60. It actually might be the sequence. I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, it's not the most luxurious of yarns, but I don't think it'll be too bad. You know, we'll see. All right, so next up, I was able to score on Lollipop Yarn's last update, and I got a copy of Zing, which Zing has 10 rows purple haze and 10 rows of Bootylicious black. So this is 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon sock yarn. 100 grams, 420 yards. So that purple is sexy. I love it. Kind of those colors that when you see it in real life, it just kind of sucks the air out of your lungs. You're like, ooh, that's nice. All right, and the last yarn that I was able to get this week is from 3 Irish Girls. This is Ryan on the Adorn sock base. This is one of their closeout colors that they produced or that they offered for the 12 days of Christmas during the holidays. So you can no longer get this colorway. It is locked away in the 3 Irish Girls vault. So I have some, and it just came this week. So it was a little bit of a wait. So I bought this mid-December. And I actually ordered this before December 19th. I think it was December 16th that I ordered this. I can't be sure. So there we go. This one will be a shawl. This looks very fall-like. It's kind of tan with some green, like overdyed green and like purple. So like kind of think of raisin colors. It's very raisiny. So golden raisins and some hint, just a blush of like wine spilt on golden raisin colored yarn is the best way I can describe it. I'm sorry if you can hear that. That is my neighborhood landing strip that's just down the road. Usually they don't fly this late, but oh well. Okay, so other works in progress. In addition to working on the anniversary shawl this week, I've been trying to get done, and I thought I would have it done before the show so you guys wouldn't see it, but obviously that is not the case, and I'm in the middle of the round 4 of 10. So I have 6 more rounds to go before I finish it. So I'm currently decreasing, and as you can see, I switched to my longer cable so I can magic loop here at the end. So I am currently decreasing, and you can't really see, but this is the Cool House Hat by Jared Flood. I'm knitting this out of Knit Picks Brava worsted, and it is on US size 6. I didn't go up a size. You're supposed to do size 6 here on the brim, and you're supposed to go up to 8 on the hat, but the young lady that's getting this has a smaller head, and yeah, so it's supposed to be kind of tight fitting, or you know, very close, not slouchy, so it's a beanie. And okay, I'm going to try to find a picture of it and insert it here, but if I can't find it, if you guys watch that Blue Almond commercial where they're throwing the cans of all almonds from scene to scene to scene, the very last scene is of a mother and a daughter sitting outside watching the Aurora Borealis. And I kid you not, take a look at the daughter's hat. I swear it is the Cool House hat by Jared Flood in gray. I'm going to try to find a picture. YouTube or something. But I'm almost positive somebody knit that hat and that girl is wearing that hat. It's pretty cool. Even if it's not that hat, it's still pretty cool. I notice stuff like that all the time. Alright, so in timeout, so I have the Aurora socks, Downton Abbey Mystery KAL, Jason's sweater, and my Don't Cage Me In socks. So I have 5 projects on the needles that are currently sitting there, 2 that I'm working on, and 1 that I haven't even started yet. And I do have a finished object this week, if you can believe that. I was asked by Courtney of the Fearless Knitter podcast, otherwise known as Stitches Please, to assist her with her wedding party favors. And they would be wonderful little knitted cupcakes. Now, I know this sort of looks like an acorn, but it is the cutest little cupcake. So this I'm knitting out of sort of scraps. The bottom is Super Summer Socks by Classic Elite. It's a cotton wool blend. The top is some Bamboo and You from Joanne. They're Joanne's just yarn. So it's just little scrappy bits. So this is like a milk chocolate cupcake because it's chocolate. And then I have this Fable from Drops. It's going to turn into some vanilla cupcakes. And then just whatever kind of scrappy yarn I have. Some light blue for my Devil in a Blue dress. You only need like 11 yards yarn total. So you can crank out one of these cupcakes. And this one took me like 3 hours because I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, you can knock these out pretty quick. So I have a finished project. And the cupcakes, the pattern is Jane Cupcake, and it calls for using US 2s, but I did mine on US 1.5s. I really don't think it's going to make a difference. The other cupcakes are about the same size. We decided to add an extra row of the cakey part, just so it doesn't look like an acorn, maybe a little bit more like a cupcake. And I have the long tail here so that I can add like a little embellishment. So maybe little cherries or, little fruits or hearts or beads or something. So that is my finished object. Okay, so spinning. Alright, I'll tell you what. I have got that Greenwood Fiberworks Merino in the blueberry colorway. I finished it. I finished spinning the single and I let it rest. And now I'm trying to Navajo ply it and something's wrong. I have my tension weird. The uptake isn't doing right. It's either too much or not enough. And my Kate the bobbin is unwinding too quickly, so I'm getting a lot of that extra curly cues, pigtails in the yarn before I get to Navajo ply it. So it's causing some issue. So I gotta contemplate this. I started last night, so I gotta finish it. But I hope it's not a disaster, because that pink, I'm just loving that pink. So anyway, I do have a stash enhancement for fiber. If you have not yet seen the Into the World Fiber Club for this month, you may want to look away. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. If you do not want to see it, please look away. Okay. So I'm in the Luxe Club because I'm a sucker for silk, and I don't care what fiber it's really paired with. But I love me some silk and wool. I think it's about my favorite thing to spin. So So this month is the Take It to the Bridge. I haven't looked to see what the inspiration photo is, but you've got like this kind of limey green, and it goes into a sky blue and an aqua blue and that lime greeny color again, and then this kind of like pine green into this purple with this really bright purple. I'm not even going to say that's pink yet, but yes, it's like a purplish pink. So, and that is the progression. And conveniently enough, and most times top will do this, it's already splitting fairly down the center. The one side is a little bit thicker, I can feel it. So I think I'm just going to spin 2 singles, like straight up 2 singles, and just apply them together. Easy peasy, not getting fancy with that one. But I like, it's not my, I'm not going to say it's not my favorite, because I really am drawn to these colors. There wasn't just that like take your breath away factor, but I really like it. Like, I like it a lot. Like, I could see this in my head already becoming a scarf. That's exactly what I want it to be. It is speaking to me, and the fiber saying, spin me into a scarf. I know I have to spin it and then knit it, but it wants to become a scarf. So sometimes I can just tell, and that was one of those times. All right, everybody, that is all I have for you this week. Please don't forget to vote. I know it's odd that you vote on a day where I announce a winner, but I figure y'all have been great voters the last 8 weeks. Why not one more? I'll take a rest next week. So I really do want to figure out which yarn you want me to use. So, Gail's art, diabolical. Gail's art, diabolical. All right, so thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.
Scissors.